that the one, the problem one? Because I could always
At the moment, yeah, look at the
I
side.
feel that nail. So that's a gun that I set because it's harder. Your nails don't need it because they're already quite firm naturally. But I think for the thumb, you put that on. Try and literally, you can't take that off. If you do, you'll hurt yourself. So maybe we need to cover your thumb in.
But the pain doesn't stop me.
Pain doesn't stop you.
No, that hurts, but I do it. That's my problem.
Were you nervous doing something then? Were you just kind of anxious about something? No.
We're going to chat about nails on live.
You probably need.
No one's
there.
But
Alright, okay.
Rewatchers are there. Hello, rewatchers.
who watches?
Rewatchers.
Rewatches. Yeah,
In the
hello,
future.
hello, rewatchers.
I'll have to think about it.
On the bright side, it means you can paint it sooner.
We're having nail chat,
Nail eyebrow check.
nail and eyebrow chat.
2 fans on me.
yeah. Well, I put 2 fans there for the dogs.
That's fine.
It's just because you sat in front of both of them.
I'm happy with it.
No, they're all right at the moment. Hello, folks. Come and say hello if you're around. I'll wait a minute or two before we get started. Okay. That's right. Yeah, I've even got the right one on. Look, the right one. Okay. Yeah. Go on. I want to see a few of you say hello before I get started. Make sure my volume's good. Can you hear me okay? There you go. Hi, Jan. Yes, the girly nail bar. Yes.
We should get your nails done so that when
Look, I don't need my nails done. They get clippered like weekly.
When you film videos, it'd be really cool to have a nice manicured hands.
With little pandas on there.
With little pandas!
I have catering hands. I have caterer's fingers.
Panda hands.
I have panda hands, yes.
Just don't need a polish, literally just a black silhouette of Alfred.
Oh, whatever. Oh, that's what I was going to do.
Cook up.
Yeah. No. On the thumbs.
Hi, Tony. How you doing, mate?
Panda paws.
Panda paws.
It'd be boring just cooking on your own.
Honestly. Right. So we've got 4 things to do. Sorry, I haven't got a screen there. The messages are here to my left, but hello, you're there. We got 4 things to do, sort of 4 dishes. One of them uses 2 recipes, which is the first one. I'm going to make.
Coffee.
No, I'm not going to make coffee. I'm going to make lasagna. Hi, Diane. How you doing? Good to see you. Sorry. We're making lasagna first. So not making the meat part of the lasagna because that's done out the back. We're just going to do the other bits because first one is the egg pasta. Second is the bechamel sauce. Now, I will admit right now, we have never done the egg pasta as lasagna sheets for the lasagna. We've used the other version. We've used the baked version. We've never used this version. But I absolutely... Yes, there are 2 pasta recipes in the book. Yes. So now we've got a few of you watching. So the book that many of you have already bought, I have with me a proof. So the good thing is that I'm actually using the book for the session today because all of these recipes are in the book. So for those that have ordered, and Ella's adjusting my camera. Okay, yeah, just got top of my head in. Yeah. For those of you that have ordered, the batch that we've ordered, because this is just the proof, the batch will be with us Tuesday. They're saying now, Tuesday. So we'll distribute them straight away. As soon as we get them, we've got the labels to sort of just start sending them out. So essentially, everyone that's ordered so far you will receive your book, providing there are no issues with delivery to us. You'll receive your book before the end of next week.
Well, hello, Diane.
Yeah, Diane. She had a little order last week, and I sent her a little note. But
Nice.
just a little. I recognised obviously name and address. So I was like, there's that Diane. Right. Anyway, egg pasta. So I'm going to make in the book. It is for 2 portions. I'm making for 4 portions because the lasagna is a 4-portion lasagna. Might not end up using all the pasta. I don't know yet. I say this is the first time I've done this recipe for lasagna. We'll give it a go. Hi, Jack. How you doing? And last chats have started. Right, brilliant. Yeah, well, it all seems to be working this week. All seems to be working fine. And hello, everybody else. I will try and keep an eye on the comments, but I have got to try and concentrate because I'm following recipes for once rather than making it up as I go along. Right, so for 4 portions, it's 200. Nearly made a mistake already. 200 grams of Panda, 4 portions. I say I'm doing a double, but it might not need it because obviously with lasagna you've got a lot of other. Got some horns going on outside. Sound like celebratory horns.
I think it's some sort of festival.
Must be something. There must be something going on. That's. Oh, that was the church. Yeah, that's just the church. Okay. Sorry, I keep thinking I've got to find the recipe up on the screen. I've got a book. To the Panda flour, want to add 10 grams of xanthan gum. Right. Actually, here's the thing. I'm gonna do that this time round. However, I'm pretty confident that because we're not boiling this pasta like you would tagliatelle, doesn't necessarily need the xanthan gum. It's in the recipe because it does it no harm. But because we're baking the sheets, i.e. in lasagna, it won't break apart. So the xanthan gum is there to protect the rest of the recipe, the dough, when it hits the water. If you boil the pasta without xanthan gum, it just breaks apart. So the xanthan is the gum that holds it all together. I think we could do this recipe without, but for this first occasion, I'm going to leave it in. So 10 grams of xanthan gum, and then obviously we need some salt. There you go. And that's 10 grams of salt. Again, don't forget it's 4 portions, so 2 grams per portion. That's it for the dry ingredients. You want to give it a good mix because you want to make sure that xanthan gum is fully combined. Now we've got the book finished and we've got the book printed on its way. It does mean that I can start doing the individual videos and variations of the recipes because there will be lots of variations we can do with them. Okay, so little well in the middle. Olive oil, so it's 60 grams of olive oil. If you want to use extra virgin, entirely up to you. There you go. 60 grams of olive oil. And then 4 eggs. No, actually, it's 8 eggs because it's double. Yeah. I keep questioning myself, but I'm right. So, yeah, because it's 2 eggs per portion. 4. 6. 7.
1.5.
You are sorry.
1.5.
Yeah, I know.
Actually,
Well, yeah, you can just about. Traditionally, they do this just on the board. So you put the flour on the board, make the well on the board, and then make the whole thing on the board. Not quite that skill level yet. So break up the eggs. Just get the yolks first, and then just start bringing it together. It's a bit messy to start with, and it's a little bit sticky, this dough, until you've properly kneaded it in. So, obviously, the majority of these recipes that we're doing today were chosen for today's from the poll. So what I'll do at the end of today's session, so you can sort of see it's now gone thick. I just need to now work all of that flour and egg in together. At the end of today's session, I'll do, well, later on this afternoon, I'll do a poll again for next week. I think we've already decided on a couple of the dishes, and then you'll get the option of a couple of others to make. So it just takes a minute or two. You probably could use a stand mixer. This is the biggest portion of pasta I've made in one go. So a stand mixer might work. I'll have to give it a go. We'll just knead it in. You can sort of see how it's come together. And we are just going to let that rest. I can feel it's getting sticky on the outside now. So it's changed the texture. You can see it's sort of coming together as a dough ball. There we go. There's your pasta dough. As always, we're going to let it rest for a few minutes. Although this one's obviously an easier roll because I'm just aiming at rolling it out into sheets, and I am going to roll it in between a couple of sheets of parchment. So let me just wash my hands. Right. Whilst that rests for just a couple of minutes, I'm going to make the bechamel. There are plenty of ways you can make a white sauce for a lasagna style dish. Plenty of ways. You'll find several recipes over in KFC. If you want to if you don't want to be using Panda, Panda gives you a more traditional style sauce. So it's quite obviously if you make a white sauce from ricotta or mascarpone, you've got much higher sort of fat content. This is predominantly small amount of butter, small amount of cream, water, and Panda. It makes your standard roux. I've got a little bit of cream in there, so I had a jug. Right, let's have a look. It is in 3 sections, the book. So you've got breads, you've got savoury, and then you've got sweets, and then each section is alphabetical. Makes it easy. You'd think that sort of we've done it before. Right, okay, so 20 grams of double cream. Oh, I'm doubling it. I need 40. So the 20 is for, that was exactly 20 in there. The 20 is for 2 portions. So again, we're going to make into 4. And we're just going to turn this into a white cheesy sauce for the top of the lasagna. To that, so this is replacing the milk. If you want to follow the recipe, and it's super simple, we're going to follow the recipe and use whatever milk you normally use, then omit this bit. I'm making my own milk here. 130 mils of water, 130 grams, I need 260. So I'm making this up to 300 grams. And that's going to make, okay. That's going to make a cheesy sauce. Hi, Sue. Yeah, all of our books, whenever we've made a book, they're ring bound. It's a very tight one. This one, and the tight, it's small and neat. So some of them were quite big, and the pages moved around quite a lot. Whereas this one, it's a little bit lighter weight. It's more of an eco paper, so it's not as heavy as the other ones. So it's just the options we were given to sort of actually print on. So slightly, they're still laminated, but it's more of an eco paper. New pan or Emma's? Yes, Emma's. Yes, it's great for these little sauces. And actually, you remember those black pans? You'll know this. What's the brand? Remember those ones, Sue? Every one of them, all of the lining is coming off them. I've thrown away nearly all of them now. Sorry, what? TK Maxx, really? Wow. TK Maxx, apparently. It's really good. It's really, really good. Yeah. So, to start the roux, we need, I keep looking at the screen for the recipe. It's here in front of me. And I actually need it here, really. 40 grams of butter. Yeah, 40 grams of butter. So I need 80. $56. 78. That'll do. That said book. Yes, this is the said book. This is the proof of the said book. All right. So making a traditional roux is making this is no different to a traditional roux. You want to melt your butter. You want to melt it, but it's not burning. We're keeping this at a medium heat. What brand? Oh, the Pan brand. I forget what it's called now. No. It's in fact. Have we now got rid of all of the pans with the exception of that one? That's a full set that I spent a couple of £100 on. A couple of frying pans, big frying pan, a couple of those saucepans, and the linings come off all of them.
I'm like here one's the best.
Then that's what you're making. Yeah, go back to work. Okay, so melting the butter, medium heat. Where are we? We're on 5 on that one. You want and certainly if you've got a nice pan that's a non-stick pan, you want a decent spatula. Let's have a. All right, second it starts spitting, it needs to be turned down. We don't want the butter to burn. No, it's not. The name will come to me while we're on the session. It will definitely come to me. Right, Panda flour. It is 10 grams per recipe. So the recipe makes 2 portions. So it's only 20 grams. Normally, when you make a roux with a standard white flour, it is equal volume of fat and flour, equal volume. So it would be 40 and 40. Whereas with Panda, it's 40 and 10. That's all we're using. Panda goes in. Now it works in the same way as in what I'm creating right now is a thick, you can see it there, thick dough. Now, when you do traditional roux, you tend to cook it out for a little while. That's so the flour actually can absorb. So it needs to expand so then it can absorb the liquid. Panda doesn't need that because it's already going to absorb the liquid. It'll absorb the liquid cold. It doesn't need to be hot. So you want to make sure that you don't overcook it at this point because you'll turn your white sauce dark. So it'll turn like a mucky brown sauce. There are such things as brown sauces. It's made the same way. You make the same roux, you just use a stock. So we're using a white sauce. So at this point here, where it's thick.
It's a bit like frangipane right now.
It looks a bit like a frangipane, yeah. So the paste is thick. It's just lightly sizzling away, not burning. I'm on a medium, low heat, little bit of milk at a time, and just blend it in. Believe me, making a roux with Panda is easier than making a roux with white flour, because you can't create lumps with Panda, but you can with white flour. So as you add more milk, just a little bit more heat, just to help bring the consistency up. Yes, you should ask yourselves the question, how do restaurants always get their white sauces so smooth? There are two ways that you get a smooth sauce in a restaurant. One, they blitz it, so they knock out, or they blitz out all of the lumps, or they buy it in ready-made. They won't be doing this. They won't be doing this. The typical method now is throw the flour in, let it go lumpy, blitz it with a hand mixer, and out it goes. Not exactly the traditional method. So this is going to be a fairly thick white sauce. Whisk, whisk, bloody whisk. Don't need to whisk. This, yeah, look. It's thick, no lumps. I can keep adding my milk. This is going to be fairly thick, but obviously we're going to add a little bit more cheese to it. If you want it thinner, then just add a little bit more liquid. You know, like if the cheese sauce is going to be enough to sort of rest on top, and then it will come down the sides as well, down the sides of the pasta. Right. So that's a nice, easy. That's just the base. There's nothing in it. So you could turn that into a cheese sauce for lasagna, for a piece of gammon. You could turn it into some nutmeg. I mean, whatever your the cheese and leek pie, fish pie. That's your base for any of those. It's just a pure white sauce, and all you do is now. So if I was making a cheese and leek pie, I'd have cooked the chicken and the leek in their own juices and then transfer this sauce straight into it, and all the flavors get combined. So I'm going to add some cheese to that. We've got a little bit of grated mozzarella. Needs seasoning as well. Right, we don't need to have it boiling now. That's cooked through enough. We'll just do a couple of handfuls of mozzarella in the sauce, and then we'll save the rest for the very top. All right, season, so salt, pepper. Mustard powder is a good thing to be adding to your cheese sauce, even in a lasagna, because it does help improve the flavour. So nice, yeah, especially in any cheese sauce. I think it just helps anyway. Just not sure. Yeah, it's just a touch. It's just like quarter of a teaspoon, half a teaspoon, depending on how much you like. There you go. Here you go. Or nutmeg, yes, or nutmeg. Ella's not a fan of nutmeg, so I can't put it in. Okay. Right, sauce is done. So that's going to be more than enough for the lasagna. Right. Done. Okay. Oh, fabulous. Fabulous. well, plenty of celiacs have found Panda pretty useful. So yeah, hopefully, in fact, I've got them in the family. Right, I'm going to break this into 4, as in the 4 portions. Not exactly, so just 4 lumps. I'm going to work with 1 lump at a time. I'm going to use the parchment paper. It's just going to help me have a nice even roll. Roll in a bit. It also means if you've got it in, see that? So if you've got it in parchment, you can just rotate it and just go around. Pasta needs a little bit more force, a little bit more effort than pastry. Okay, it's a little bit tougher. But what you really want to do is get it thin. As thin as you would pastry. So this portion that I've made, so this that I'm using, will fill most of this sheet. Hello, Margie. It's a bit warm today for them, so they're avoiding the sun. And it also, because I'm using the paper, you don't have to worry about the shape. You know, that's not exactly even there. Now I can create a bit more up here. Because I'm going to cut squares out of it or rectangles out of it. And then what's left just gets rolled in with the next portion. So this pasta takes a little bit more time, a little bit more effort. The other version, the baked version, and we'll do that soon, is quicker. You still get a really good pasta, certainly for lasagna sheets or for the cannelloni that we've done. Pasta in the way pasta is the poor type. Yes, as I was explaining. So there are 2 versions. This is a more traditional version of pasta. So for fresh pasta, yeah. Whereas the baked version, it's great. It's absolutely fantastic, and I think we've probably had that more than we've had this, but that's just down to time. What I wanted to show today was that you can make your own fresh pasta at home. Honestly, Ella. She came down and cut some cheese. Yeah, that you can make your own fresh pasta, because what you can't do with the other pasta is make things like ravioli. And this one works fantastically for things like ravioli. All right, so we've almost filled that entire sheet. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to trim that up, and we'll decide what I'll do that. I'll do that. So for those that are better at rolling, baking than I, you could probably get yours slightly more square to start with. However, I'll do that as a 3. I'll do that there and get rid of that tail. There's our first pasta sheet. No need to pre-cook. No need to The only reason why you parboil dehydrated pasta is to rehydrate them. You don't even need to do that if you're cooking your dish for long enough. That's it. So I'm going to get the purpose of these sessions. For anyone just joining, so if anyone that's watching for the first time, the purpose of these sessions is so I can show you full all the way through the recipe. So the fact that I'm going to be spending the next 10 minutes rolling out dough is so we can have dinner. I've got nothing pre-prepared with the exception of the meat for the lasagna. So Sundays are always long form. If you're joining on a Sunday, make sure you've got somewhere comfortable to sit, bottle of water, cup of tea. Actually, I think I saw a question earlier about what's the difference between greaseproof and parchment. Parchment A is all baking paper. I mean, the sort of the clue is in the title. Baking paper is more suitable for baking with. Greaseproof is greaseproof, but not necessarily when it goes in the oven. They use a greaseproof for wrapping things that contain grease. It's a hot one. Hi, Sandra. Yes, it is a hot one. So to prevent the grease from leaking out, from the oil from leaking out, so you get grease-proof bags to stop the pie or the pasty leaking the oil. Parchment paper has been treated, so when you bake with it, so like this is parchment, I could actually leave the pasta on the sheet, bake it, and it would come off the sheet. Some greaseproofs are not great for rolling in. You do have to be careful. That's why I always sort of say just invest in siliconized parchment paper. And they even sell it now in pre-cut sheets in the supermarkets. We saw it in Dunelm, didn't we? Not so long ago. Yeah. Packs of silicon sheets or parchment sheets. I prefer. I mean, these are the ones. Obviously, we buy this in bulk for the bakery, and we just cut them into strips ourselves. Now we have got a pasta roller. I've tried it a couple of times. Not got quite the hang of it yet. But again, my experience of rolling fresh pasta began with this. So I've never done it previously. I didn't anticipate I'd be any good at it with this. So a bit more practice, a bit more experience. I'm sure we'll get it through a pasta machine. There'll be something that we can do to make it more stable for a pasta machine. No, I'll leave the old ends. Hi, Karen. So,
how many are you making?
Well, I'm going to do 2 layers, but I think one more of these, which means that maybe one portion of dough would have done. Yeah. It won't need, because otherwise it's going to be too thick. You know, if we get sort of, I need.
That's almost enough there.
I'd go one more piece each. One more piece. Yeah. The good thing is that I can weigh what's left. I mean, that's not going to go to waste. We'll have pasta tomorrow with something. Oh no, we've got steak night tomorrow, so you'll wait till Tuesday. As long as you stick it in a bag or wrap it in cling film, stop it from drying out, it'll last several days. Just when you come to use it, leave it out of the fridge for a little while, let it soften up a bit, and you get to roll it like this. And in fact, I think when we very, very, very first made it, and we did end up leaving it the day after, it's like, well, this is easy. It rolled out. It was so stable. Archie's trying to catch flies. It's disturbing his sleep. So, what have we got? We've got a few of you watching. So we've got a couple of things to share with you this afternoon, along with the 4 recipes. Things with strawberries to the galette. Nice. We've still got a little bit of strawberry, but the salmon one has gone down an absolute storm in this house. So that'll be made again. I think we'll do that on a live soon. There's a lot of people interested in the recipe for that. So these things that I'll be talking about now will be live on the website later on today at some point. They may even be live while we're sort of like we're here for the next couple of hours. Firstly, the books will go back on. Again, we're still waiting for the batch of the first print to turn up. This is just a proof copy that I've got. So the website will be open again for orders for the books and the bundles. There'll be an offer going on there that if you want to get just a bag of flour along with the book, then you can. A little discounted price. Right, that'll do. So they'll be on again this afternoon. Let me just pay attention to what I'm doing here. There we go. Right, okay, so we've got 4 pieces per layer. If I just very quickly weigh this, I mean, you would be able to get a 2-portion recipe to go across. I mean, I may have used just a little bit more because I didn't necessarily weigh it out. So it would be 4 eggs, so 200, 300, 330, about 350. Yeah, it's 340 there. So essentially, I've got a whole portion still left. So we've just found out that 1 recipe's worth, which is for 2 people, will actually make enough pasta sheets for a recipe for 4. Right. Go away. All these baby flies.
You can work out macros from knowing that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be able to put the macros up for this recipe later on. Okay. Nice and easy then. I'm going to do this in the foodie. This dish is purposely bought for the foodie. I don't think it's a specific ninja dish, but it is a perfect one for this, and it fits perfectly in the cradle as well, because the wire rack just doesn't fit. So here's the only thing I did earlier, which is the beef and pork mix. Added a little bit of butter, added a little bit of shallots and seasoning, so garlic, some herbs, and we'll just have a couple of layers. This was a 750 pack of the beef and pork mince, between 4 portions. So just short of 200 grams of meat per portion. So it's a sizable portion. You can't go out, Coco. She can go out. She can get out. The next door neighbours, she's doing some maintenance on the fence. So the fence line is down at the moment between the 2 houses. So to prevent Coco from going trashing her house, she's sort of locked in our little porch area. Hi, Lane. Don't worry, you can catch up with all of the previous. Jesus, 40 minutes. We've only done this so far. Wow. Right. First lot of meat. Because obviously this is very flexible. If you want to trim it, then you can trim it so it fits. But I'm just going to layer it up. It's a lot of meat on that second layer. We all like our lasagnas slightly differently. I like mine with a fairly dry tomato base and then a nice, thick, cheesy top. You might go for a more tomatoey and just a bit of grated cheese on top. Everyone's got their own lasagna recipe, so you crack on with your recipe. And we're going to do this. Actually, I want to try and get that middle bit. That doesn't matter anyway, does it? You liking that? What?
I know, it's like you do you. Lasagna.
Yeah, you do. Lasagna is a touchy subject. Oh.
I didn't realise.
Oh yeah.
I'm just happy to have her.
Yeah. I'm just happy you're getting dinner.
Yeah.
Hi, Helen. Oh, nice. Yeah, don't make us feel jealous. You're all right. Helen's in Tunisia.
Wow. Seeing before and after photos on this. Looks really good.
You can do. Right. Again, I've done a double portion, and you could use it if you really wanted to, but that's quite a lot of cheese sauce on top. There's probably a third of it left in the pan. It'll get used on something. No point messing about. $35, nice. We're not quite that hot, but yeah, it's certainly burning in the sun today. Right, we're done. That's going in. Oh, did you want to? Sorry, I was taking a picture for me. Say cheese. Yeah, please. Right, temperature one. We are knocking it down to 180. But we're going to go up in time to about. I want a nice crispy top. Let's go 45. We'll see what happens at 45. That should be beautifully crispy on top. Okay, I did write this down in order. I forgot now which one I was going to do next. Bagels. No, Bakewell. Bakewell next. Bakewell next. Because much, and I know I could have rolled two big circles, Jan. And then use the cutter to sort of get it perfect. Yes, I know. Maybe next time. So a much anticipated recipe, Bakewell. With a twist. because the recipe that's in the book is use your cherry Bakewell, make a cherry jam, or whatever jam you want. It doesn't have to be cherry. Not everybody enjoys cherry, not strong enough flavour, whatever, so we can't get hold of them. You can make your jam whatever flavour. It could be a strawberry Bakewell, it could be the last one I made was a rhubarb and raspberry one, wasn't it? Rhubarb and raspberry Bakewell, something like that. The jam, entirely up to you. You can also, I don't know if you think you need permission for this, you can change the flavouring of the top as well. It doesn't have to be almond. Not everybody enjoys, Ella, doesn't enjoy almond flavour. So today, we're going to make, we flick through the book. Oh, by the way, the Swiss chocolate roll is bloody amazing. I changed the recipe or updated it. Really, really good. Really, really good. Bakewell. Okay. So, we need pastry to start with. Simple pastry. One portion of pastry is more than enough for this. You will have a bit of pastry left over. We'll probably just make a couple of Danish pastries to go along with it, something like that. So, oh yeah, I will admit, yeah. So, we're gonna make one batch of pastry. Now, I'm gonna make the pastry, the sort of like the super pastry that's in the book. So with the adaptation that came late on, like last Sunday or something, whatever it was. So I should really go look at pastry recipe first. So just so Archie is chasing something in his sleep. Right. 50 grams of flour. Have fun, Helen. 50 grams of flour. Now the method is the same whether you want to make sweet or savoury pastry. I don't tend to add any sweetener to this version. If you're making savoury, I definitely add salt. But because there's a fair amount of sweetener going to go in this recipe already, as in the jam layer is going to have sweetener in it, and then the frangipan is going to have sweetener in it. For me, having sweetener in the pastry was a bit too much. Again, you're allowed to add a bit of sweetener into yours if you want, because it's your frangipan or your Bakewell. To this, we need some butter. Need 100 grams of butter. If you're making savoury, you can split that amount from 50 butter to 50 lard. Again, it gives it a slightly different crust. Meg, yes, this is live in Panda Pantry page and on YouTube, and you can watch them both in full later on and forever. So if you're ever struggling to get to sleep, you know what you can do. So yeah, just come back to where you are now. Wherever you're watching, you're on Facebook, so come back to Facebook and watch it there. Go to the Panda Pantry page, or go to the YouTube channel. There you go, 100 grams. Give it a quick blitz. I know you've probably seen me do this 20 times now, but pastry's pastry. I will admit that butter wasn't exactly super cold, just about cold enough. Just about. It started to melt as I was getting it off the knife. You've got a breadcrumb. There's a couple of lumps in there. Let's have a look. Just break them up. You don't want big clumps like that. It's just where the butter was too soft, so it didn't really get broken up. Just the colder the butter, the finer the crumb's going to be, okay? Or the colder the fat, butter or lard. You can go all lard if you're going to make like a pork pie or a sausage roll. That works for flavour wise. Right, to this we're going to add an egg yolk and some water. So the egg yolk really helps with the flakiness of the pastry. So save your egg whites. There's plenty of things you can do with them. Make yourself some protein pancakes. Add it to a scrambled egg. I almost threw that in the wrong one then. Okay. No. I need to weigh it because it's about 80 grams of liquid. This is part of that 80. So that's 16. And then make it up with cold water. There you go. Bring it together. Again, your common theme, pretty much everything. If you know, you can do it just in a bowl. Pretty much all the pastries, all the cakes, all the breads. You can do them in such small portions in a small bowl. Whenever we write a recipe, I try and get it down to the smallest volume of egg, if it's an egg going in. So can it be made with a single egg, or does it need to be 2 eggs? And it doesn't take long for this to come together. We want to rest it for a few minutes. Okay. Again, we want to let the Panda just absorb that liquid a little bit more. You can see it's a little bit damp on the outside, a little bit tacky. So we'll let that rest. Whilst that is resting, we shall make the frangipan. So typically, frangipan would be an almond top made out of ground almonds and flour. You can still use, if you want, some ground almond in it. But obviously I've made this as a pure Panda recipe for those that don't like almond. Ella. A lot of this book is just because Ella doesn't like stuff. This is going to be quite a thick base, so quite a thick, say, paste or batter by the time it's made. I would normally recommend you roll the pastry, line it, par bake it. While it's being par baked, then do this bit, okay? Just because I know what I'm going to need to do to sort of spread it out, I'll show you. Because again, the longer Panda sits, the thicker it will get. So the sort of like the stodgier it will get. So when I make this mix, because I won't be ready to use it, when I come to use it, it's going to be thicker than if I just literally made it and was able to stick it in the pastry case. If you know what I mean. Right. Okay. So we've done that bit. We've done that bit. To make the frangipan, melt the butter. I've done that bit. Melted butter, 100 grams? 100 grams of melted butter. With 2 eggs. Sweetener. So here's 1 layer of your sweetener. And your extract of choice. So if you want a traditional flavour, go with your almond. That's fine, up to you. If you want to make a strawberry with a vanilla top, then great. Use a vanilla essence to go in with your frangipan. We're having cinnamon and apple jam underneath. This has been in the freezer for a few months, which is the last of it. So we've got cinnamon and apple based layer, and then the frangipan I'm making into vanilla custard. Just because you're allowed to do that. Just because my recipe says 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract doesn't mean you have to follow what I say. Put a teaspoon of your extract in it. Now these are different to these. This is your straightforward vanilla extract, okay, commercial version, but it's the same stuff where you would use maybe a teaspoon. These are incredibly strong flavor drops where you don't use as much. So it's very small amount. It's just 2 or 3 drops. And it smells amazing. It smells like a vanilla custard. Yeah. So with these ones, you do need to be careful how much you use. It's very easy to over flavor it. And obviously any essence extract can make it quite nasty. So it is a small amount. Right, okay, let's start. 2 eggs.
It also answers the question about the jam and will it freeze. So I made you that.
Yes, will the jam freeze?
I made it in 2022.
Yeah, absolutely. That was made 2 years ago. Generally, I mean, it is surprising how many times we get asked, will food freeze? Generally, if you've made it, you can freeze it. If you've made a bread, if you've made a cake, if you've made a meal, you can freeze it. The things that are probably wouldn't freeze, and it's not because of taste, not because of anything safety-wise, it's because of how it will respond when you defrost it. It's things like that. That will respond well to when you defrost it as a sauce. Wouldn't matter as much in the lasagna because it's only a thin layer, but the actual sauce itself wouldn't work as well. So the 99% of the things that you're going to make at home, you can absolutely freeze. Sugar, sweetener, eggs. Okay, I'll put the extract in now. You want to put the Panda in last because that's the bit that's going to make it go really thick and it's going to be difficult to taste. I hate these boxy things. It's got that stuck to it. Okay. Right, we've gone for 4 drops. It won't register on the scales. 4 drops. Yeah, that's all it needs. 4 drops. This is an 8-portion cake. Butter. It actually tastes quite strong there, flavour-wise, but that's to be expected because it's just neat flavour, really. You can see it sort of turns sort of slightly creamy. And then into that, and you're going to need to get rid of that and have a spatula. And it is 35 grams of Panda. Showing it's 25 here. What's 25? Right, are you talking about degrees? Right, okay. Right. All right, so once the Panda hits it, it's thick. Just give it a good mix with the spatula.
It's really easy.
Yeah, super easy. There you go. There's your frangipan. Don't be afraid to flavour it how you want. Right, okay. Let's get the pastry out. Again, I'm going to roll it in between because it's so warm today. I'm not going to take chances with the marble board. It's going to be. Hi, Mira. Yeah. It'll cause problems. It'll try and break up because of the temperature. It's too much handling in temperature, and I really want to just roll this, fill a tin, and bake it. I'll do it as that one. That's the one I did the first one in.
You seem surprised.
Well, no, because this one's brilliant. This is my little brownie tin here. Oh, that's too big for this. This is perfect because you get sort of like perfect little squares. Okay. I will use all of this dough to start with, so I can get a nice sort of large square. But I won't use all of it here. We will have some left. Again, we want to go nice and thin. Pastry, and especially this freshly made on a warm day pastry, it's a very light roll. You can see I'm really not putting any pressure into this at all. Don't be afraid of the across the diagonal as well. I'm going to try and fill as much of this sheet as possible. If you want to make this a little bit easier on yourself, then cut a square, because then, you know, you've got a slightly better shape to aim at. So cut squares in your parchment. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's okay. I mean, I've got enough there.
Just 4 lines.
Yeah. All right. See how easy that rolled out, as it's because it is sort of so warm. It's taken no effort at all, really. Before you try and do anything with it, off one side, off the other side. Now, again, because it's warm, because we haven't let this sort of go into the fridge at all, we haven't let it rest. This will, right now, I know it's going to tear when I put it in. Absolutely fine, because it will push back into place. You can seal up any of the tears that are in there, and you will never know once it's baked. Okay, so don't worry if when you do this, it doesn't come off cleanly and it wants to tear. Okay, because it just hasn't had it long enough to set. Okay, so there's a tear in the middle here, little one there. None of that's a problem. We can sort all of that out. I haven't gone as thin as I would normally. Again, I should have cut the paper square so we could have gone a little bit thinner, a little bit further out. It just means we've got less pastry to play with. When yeah, it's essential for anything that you're going to roll or press out. It's just to let the panda sit. Just let it rest for a while. It just becomes more stable. Just a little bit on that corner there. Okay. No need to do much. Just patchwork the corners.
You can just put the flatbread dough into the fridge for a little bit if it's the yogurt flatbreads.
Yeah, it can go in the fridge for a bit. It's just time, isn't it? It just needs to rest.
Yeah.
It's no different when we make, the batches of wraps and rotis. They've just got to rest. You can't start rolling. You can't start pressing until they've rested. You can't cheat the process. Right. We are going to go 180. For 12 minutes. So we get it nice and golden. So, frangipane's ready. The jam's ready. That's done. We're just going to wait for that to sort of bake now. We can fill it straight away. Pop it back in the oven. We can top it. Oh, I've got some cinnamon to sort of like sprinkle on top as well. Yeah, I didn't know of anything else to put on top really, because it's not a nutty. I don't want to put almonds on it because it's an almond-free Bakewell.
Do a panda shape pastry.
We'll see. Might as well do bagels. So I don't think. Oh no. Tell you what. No, I'll do the ginger biscuits because I've got this out. I might as well use it. I'm going to leave that there because it's just a little bit of butter and flour, both of which are in the gingers. Anyway, ginger bites. Ginger and pecan bites. Yeah, ginger time. So the trick with this is to blitz the pecans into a powder, into a flour. You can always just hand crush them, and you'll have slightly bigger bits. But if you've got a little food processor, then whack it in there and blitz them down. So for this portion, it's 50 grams of pecans.
These are really, really good.
Yeah. Right. So the best way to make these into a flour is to add something in with it to stop it from binding together again. So Panda flour is ideal. You can use either your sweetener if you're using a white granulated. I'm out, so I'm using this brown sort of pure beer one, which is sticky. No good to go in there because it'll make it even stickier. So I'm going to use the Panda flour, which is 30 grams. And blitz it. Because pecans are soft anyway, they will blitz up very fine. But if you just try and do them by themselves, they'll start to stick together again. So I can feel them in with the flour, but that's what gives this recipe its crunch. I've only made these once before. Blitzed. Tip the blitzed pecans into the mixing bowl and add the rest of the dry ingredients. So the flour and the pecans are in there. That's fine. So it's sweetener, 50 grams. We have used this before. Didn't necessarily notice a big difference in flavour, but obviously something like this, the ginger one, would be the place to use it. It's sort of like typically the right style of sweetener. The last ones that I did were just made with the normal white sweetener. Worked perfectly well. So sweetener, 50 grams. There we go. ground ginger, 15 grams. It's actually quite a lot, but then these are ginger biscuits, so if you don't like ginger, then don't make ginger biscuits. But if we had somebody once say to us that our parking was too gingery. It's a dense ginger cake. It's meant to have a kick. It's meant to have a kick, yeah? 15 grams. It was enough of a kick for me. So, if your name's Sue Chafer, then maybe that's not quite enough of a kick. Okay. Because of the brown sugar, I'm just going to break it up. It's a bit sticky again because of the heat. The brown sugar is a little bit. That brand of sweetener, white, is on sale at £2.50. They often do that in Sainsbury's. So anybody is after sweetener, Pure Via. I've not seen. They've stopped selling it at our local. Yeah, but in Sainsbury's, Pure Via, £2.50, which means it's about, I think these are 250 bags, 300 bags. So it means it's about £10 a kilo, which is the cheapest you'll ever get it for.
That's a nice little ginger crumble.
This is a beautiful ginger crumble. This over an apple, like the crumble of an apple crumble, would be amazing. Yeah, it would actually as well. There's no butter in it.
I like crumble.
But
yeah, it's from Sainsbury's somewhere.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, so make a well. I've made a well. It's interesting reading my own recipes. I only wrote this last week. And add egg. Oh, I almost swore. Cooled butter. Where's my butter dish?
There's some in the fridge, isn't there? The West Country.
No, it needs to be. No. It just needs to be melted and cool.
Okay.
I thought I'd done all the melting and the cooling. Okay, so how much butter we need? 100 grams. Right, so there's two options on this one. Using either 100 grams of melted butter or 100 grams of coconut oil. They will give you slightly different textures. It will be crunchier using coconut oil. I always have to check. It'll also be dairy-free if you use coconut oil. 97, that'll do. Right, so I'm going to melt that. Five minutes left on that. Is it a brown sugar or demerara? Don't know. This one, I don't know what the other one is. This is a soft brown sugar alternative. So that's the one. I don't know what the demerara.
Slightly darker.
Is it? Right, okay. It must have something else added to it. So this one has a little bit of molasses in it. It's the colour. I actually thought I'd be done well before the 2 hours, but that's an hour and 15 gone already. I haven't started the bagels yet. I mean, everything else is going to be done, but the bagels are going to be going in the oven at 4. The butter's ready to blow on its lid.
Is the cooling just so you don't burn your fingers?
Yeah, the cooling is only for safety reasons for your fingers. Don't worry. Right, so we 100 grams of cool, not 100 degree. Egg. And what was the other? Oh, extract. You tell these are farmers' eggs. They're proper thick shells on them. A teaspoon, so 4 or 5 grams. You know, it's just to make it a more rounded flavour. I was looking for the gingerbread extract, actually. I couldn't find it. We have got one of those special ingredient ones.
I've never seen that here.
I wonder if I've still got it over there. Right, give it a mix. I think I've got everything. Let me just go through the ingredients. Egg, vanilla, melted and cooled butter. It is 1 egg. It is 1 egg. Vanilla. Yeah, everything's in. So, again, it's quite a thick, thick dough. Thick cookie dough, essentially. Let's see. It's not warm at all. It's all good. It is obviously very greasy. So a spoon's good for mixing it. And we're going to use the spoon to portion it as well. Right, so I'll show you my little trick for getting perfect little cookies, biscuits, whatever you want to call them. Don't need that anymore. See, yeah, let's put that there. That's better. One of our pretty average little baking trays.
Bagels is the closest.
You what?
Sorry, bagels is the other one, isn't it?
Yeah, your bagels is the other one. Right, we've got less than 2 minutes for that, but I can start this and I can show you what I mean. Right, I've got a coffee scoop here. You see it? There you go. So I think it's a 7-gram coffee scoop. Doesn't mean anything for the dough here, apart from it's going to give me a perfect portion. What do you miss? An hour and 20's worth, Claire. But you can rewind, or you can watch again later. What have we made so far? We've made egg pasta, which is lasagna sheets. That's in the oven. That'll be coming out in 10 minutes. We've made the bechamel as well to go with that. We've started to make the Bakewell. That's in the oven. Ginger nut biscuits. They're about to go in the oven. I'll get ready for. And then bagels. So this little scoop, something you can get a nice even portion with. Yeah. The dough is soft enough to be able to do that, and then perfect. One. Give an inch or so, between the two biscuits. Even though they're a bit oily, you can move them. There you go. So I've got a row of 4 there. I should be able to get Right. See if I can get some in the middle there as well. Yeah, actually, I should be able to get. I think the mix made exactly 12. It does smell great. Yeah. It feels like I've got a little bit more dough. Okay, so there's 12. We're just going to evenly space them. Right, this little bit, I'm going to equally just add a tiny bit to each one, just so I'm not having to bake a tray with one. So you never throw dough away. You just need to portion it out. Got a little bit left. There you go. Right. Get another piece. Pop it on top. Get another tray. And gently just push down. Nice and evenly. There you go. You got 12. These can go down a bit further. So this is now down to you as to how thin you want your cookie. So obviously the further you press it, the more you press it. I think that's about as much as I can go actually. The more you press it, the thinner they go, the snappier they will be. So if you want, I prefer the old ginger nut style where, there you go, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect.
Heidi's about to find out.
Yes.
Question.
Right, so do I do the, we'll come back to that in 5 minutes. No. How long do these take to cook? Bake for 15?
15 minutes.
Okay. I'm going to put these straight in and then I'll finish off the Bakewell while these are baking. We've got a Panda stamp. There you go. You can just about see it. So it's a cutter, pastry cutter. So we're just going to... Coco's dreaming of something. There you go. 12 perfect Panda ginger cookies. Seems to have lost my other. Is that because that's, yeah, that's keeping me. Sorry. All right. So nice and golden. Nice and light. Right. These are going in and they are at 180. 15 minutes. That's perfect. Because of the butter that's in these, or even if you're going to use coconut oil, you'll notice probably 5 minutes into the cook time that the butter would have seeped, some of the butter would have seeped out of the cookie, and it'll be bubbling around the cookie, okay? That's normal. Don't think that there's something wrong. It essentially cooks itself in its own butter. It won't spread anymore. There's no raising agent in it. It won't spread. What you've put in is exactly what you'll get out. It's not going to be a bigger sort of all joined into one. Okay, so we've got our pastry. We've got our apple and cinnamon.
Made cheese biscuits and quiche.
Nice. Well done. This is just enough. I mean, just enough. It's going to be a nice sort of thin layer underneath the frangipan. I think I normally work on about 150, 200 grams of jam. That's up to you. That's up to you. Is there much difference between keto and the carnivore diet? Actually, yes, there is fair amount. Who's that? Ice. Right. Can you get into our Facebook group? Because it's much easier to be able to talk about that, and you can ask questions in there. As much as it's keto UK recipes, we have a lot of carnivore in there as well as. So obviously you've got the keto group, which is the predominant, but you've got low carbers and you've got the ultra low carbers, carnivores. So yes, there are sort of distinctions, quite drastic ones really. Obviously, if you're going to be strict carny, then you are just sticking to the animal proteins. Yes, maybe dairy, but a lot of carnies sort of even miss that out. So, did you make the apple and cinnamon mix? So this mix has been made a couple of years. It's just something that Emma made. It's a apple and cinnamon jam, which we've used for all sorts of things. Just stewed apples. A little bit of sweetener. A little bit of cinnamon. Bramley apples are fairly low in carbs anyway, so you don't have to worry too much about that. You can make it. Hang on, I'm reading two conversations. The Bramley apples, if you really wanted to bring the carbs down even further, you can cook it through with some courgette. So skin some courgettes, chop them up, dice them up the same size as the apple. You'll never know the difference. And it's done. That, I suppose that's a good point from Claire, is that the one issue for some people is that there isn't enough variety in carnivore. So you are sort of limited to what you can eat. However, I would highly recommend you go and find him. He's one of sort of our original guys. So Keto Dan, he's been carnivore now for proper clean keto carnivore for a couple of years at least now. Amazing success. So if you can come into the Facebook group, because that's easier for me to sort of point you in the direction of Dan. But he's all over our socials as well. So if we can get you to link with him, then you'll see his post, you'll see what he eats. Right, here's the frangipan. This is what I mean by you can wait to this point to make it. Everything's done, then make your frangipan. Because it's firm. It's now firm, okay? So it's more difficult to spread evenly in across the top. So I'm going to sort of cheat, but I'm just going to show you what we would do if we were in this position and go, right, okay, we're going to press it. I can't press it in there because I'll end up pressing the pastry and I'll end up pressing the jam out the way. We're going to end up making a right mess of what we're trying to make. But what I can do is I can shape it here and then transfer it and just finish it off. So if you make your frangipan and it goes firm, you haven't ruined it. It's going to work exactly the same. Keto Dan. I'll see if I can. Who's any good at Instagram that's watching right now? And can you go and get Dan's Instagram handle? Because clearly, there you go. Perfect. There's Dan. I thought you were busy this weekend, mate. So, gentlemen, no, I can't see actually. Yeah, it looks like a gentleman on YouTube asking about what's the difference between keto and carne. Quite clearly, you're the carne expert. So if you can see Dan's comment, then just go and follow him. He posts loads of stuff about what he does, but if you look at what he does, he is very much religious in what he eats. He's very strict, and he'll eat lots of eggs and beef and lamb and yeah. So thank you, Dan, for coming along. Right, anyway, go away. Frangipan. All I was going, yeah, thanks, mate. All I was going to say was that if it's set like it had in there, it's a nightmare to try and spread. Again, the Panda's thick and deal, but it doesn't mean you can't do it. Go on, off you go. All we're going to do with that now? Oh, and he was safety for a reason. This is just a bit of cinnamon dusting. So it's a little bit of sweetener and a little bit of ground cinnamon. and we're just dusting the top. There we go. Okay. I'll just explain. The dogs have heard of motorbike. We all ride motorbikes. They think someone's coming home. We're all home. We're all home. Is it chicken? Oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So any animal protein that comes with skin, fat is absolutely the best you can use. The absolute best. So, you know, whenever we do sort of any deep fat frying, we'll generally tend to use lard. For that, we'll use a lot of animals. So like last night, we had pork chops, nice big sort of layer of fat on the outside. So absolutely, never take the skin or the fat off something to chuck it away like, unfortunately, other lifestyles think is, what's necessary. Right, apple and cinnamon with a vanilla custard frangipan tart. It's a Bakewell, but it's not a Bakewell. But we won't be allowed in Bakewell. I know that we were up there recently. We won't be allowed in though. Right, 6 minutes for the gingers. Oh my life. Lasagna. As good as the cradles are, you do wonder sometimes. There you go. There you go. Perfect. So you can see the lasagna layers in there. Now, quite clearly, the pasta contains egg and flour. So we do have to achieve a certain temperature. But this has been in the oven for so long that, oh my life, I've just pierced the top, which is a crispy, cheesy, yummy topping. And as I pierced the cheese, it oozed. I'll try and get that on camera. Watch this. It oozed cheese sauce underneath. Yeah. So we've all cooked a lasagna. You know when you press through it and you get that sort of like firm texture as you go through? It's exactly what we've got there. Right. So I'm gonna... Yeah. Actually, Elaine, 4 portions, 3 people. You know where we live. Okay, that's going to sit there for another couple of hours while we finish up. Right, okay, let's crack on with bagels. I know some people have put off doing this, but actually they're not difficult to do at all. Most of the recipes, and I know I'll probably say that about pretty much every recipe. I haven't made bagels that often. This will be probably my, 3rd or 4th time in doing it. And mistakes can happen. Generally, if it doesn't quite work out as well as you expected, it just means, next time round you've learned from that and you'll be able to do it slightly better. Let me just quickly get this tidied up. No, it's me. It's me. Right. It's me. Off you go. They're on edge because they're not allowed in the garden at the moment.
You've made the method really clear as well in the book.
Have I?
Yes,
right, okay.
Yeah. It's really easy to follow, yeah.
Okay.
So there are more steps to it.
Right, okay. So let's take this step by step in the book. Oh, I'll tell you what, I'll start doing this and then I'll tell you the other thing that I've got. Want to announce, got planned. So, as I said, the book is broken into breads first, savoury second, and then sweet third. And it's in alphabetical order as well. So, bagels right at the beginning. Okay. when I made these for the book, they were without doubt the best bagels that I've made. So again, it just showed that the bit of practice definitely helps. Weigh and combine all of the dry ingredients. So let's get a dry ingredient bowl. This one's got special little holes in the bottom of it. Can you see through it? Can you see me? I'm behind the bowl. We don't know how, but it's got tiny little pinpricks. Right, so dry ingredients. Those dry ingredients are 50 grams of Panda flour, 10 grams of cheese powder or grated Parmesan. Now we've got this cheese powder. So it's like a mature cheese dried. So it's a proper floury powder. You can use Parmesan or the Italian dried cheeses that's not Parmesan but pretends to be. So 10 grams. It has got a very let's say strong flavor, strong sense. You know it's cheese. You'll not make something out of it that you don't want cheese in, definitely. 5 grams of fast-acting yeast.
The best yeast in the world.
The what, sorry?
The best yeast in the world.
Again, if you're going to do okay, well, Dan's a great person to go and connect with, study what he's done for the last couple of years. It's absolutely totally changed the way he is. And last time I saw Dan, I was like, wow, that's it goes several months between when we catch up. Really impressive work. So if you want someone to show you the way, he's absolutely the guy. Yeast. Please don't buy the little packets. Nothing wrong with them, with the exception of the actual cost. Don't think that you're not going to use it. If you're going to do any form of looking after yourself, home baking, then just buy yourself a pot, or you can actually find half-kilo bags of yeast, which is the same as this. So it's professional yeast. Half-kilo bag for about £6, £7, something like that. Just have a look at your cost per kilo when you look at the those little packets. Look at that. Look at them. Absolutely immense. I mean, bloody hot, but immense. Right, that one's out. That one's in. I think this is about 20 minutes, isn't it? I'm just going to get... Where do you get the tubs from? Are you talking about this tub? Don't know. It was a random... was that yours?
Not mine.
It must have been out. I don't know.
I was excited to find it.
You was excited to find it. The Bakewell is going to take 20-25 minutes. Where is it? 20 minutes. There you go. That'll do. Right. Back to this. The ginger biscuits are amazing. You saw how easy they are to make. Have I had a mixer out yet? Just nothing's required apart from a bowl and a spoon, or salt, chives. Oh, chives out there, aren't they? If you don't like chives, that's dill. They don't add dill.
Chives.
Are they?
Here on the left. Label.
Yes. That's coriander, chives. Then change your herb. If you don't like chives, then change it to dill. Whatever you want. It's just to give a little bit of colour. I mean, they do work really, really well with cheese anyway. They ain't going to weigh anything. I mean, I've got a you know, a big pinch. It hasn't moved a single gram. So as much as it says a teaspoon, if you're trying to put it in your trackers, it's not even a gram of herb. Salt, half teaspoon. Yeah, perfect. Right, I think that's all the dry ingredient. No bicarbs. Bicarbs. Secret ingredient for all of these breads now, bicarbs. Half a teaspoon of bicarbs. Just make sure you haven't got any big lumps in there. You can just put it through a small. I think that's probably why it was bought, but it's a bit big for one portion. So one mix doesn't really sort of fill it. I think you probably need to sort of put 2 volumes in there to get a shape. Right, everything's in. Now I must remember not to put liquid in this bowl because it just leaks. So we'll transfer it. But all of the ingredients mixed together. Right, so liquids, 110 mils of warm water. I'll just get the kettle. 20 mils of oil, a bit of vinegar, and an egg. Right, so the other important part of the bagels is the steaming. Clearly, traditionally, bagels would have been boiled. A lot of commercial bakeries now use steamers instead, so big commercial steamers. So if you ever just Google sort of like bagel manufacturing, it's immense setups. The steam process really is essential if you want a bagel. Otherwise, it's going to be fairly flat. A 2-pound steamer from our favorite Chinese cash and carry. You can use a colander. You could use one of the metal steamers. So we've got a triple steamer. You could use one of those. There's all sorts of steamers. I'm sure you can even use one of those electric steamers. You ever seen them? So exactly that. It's like a slow cooker with plastic chambers that sit on top of each other, and just one unit at the bottom that boils the water and steam goes through the plastic chambers. You can use your holy bowl. Right, anyway, the ingredients, the recipe says combine everything by hand. So I'm going to stick the flours in there. Combine everything by hand or with a spatula. By hand is just easier because you're going to have to get your hands in there anyway. To form a dough. Now it does say allow it to rest. I'm not going to do that this time round just because I want to be able to show you how to do it. For the class. Right, brilliant. Okay. So I'll do this bit, then we'll have a quick chat. So I need 110 mils of warm water, 40 to 50 degrees. I boiled this to 50. Obviously, it's going to cool down as we're waiting. 112. 1 egg. And oil. 20. Little bit of ACV helps activate the bicarb. Who does the dishes? Me. Me does the dishes. All right, let's get in there. It's a joint effort, honestly. So again, the reason why it says in the book to allow it to rest for a little while is it makes the dough easier to handle, okay? So this is going to make 2 bagels. Again, once we first make it, it's quite wet. The amount of dishes, the large bowls that I sort of use for these sessions, it take like 3 or 4 loads.
It's not too bad today.
No, it's not too bad today. I did have everything organised. Right, don't need rolling pin. I'm going to make some space.
Do you steam it on top of?
I've got it ready. Got it ready in there. I'll spend 5 minutes tidying up, letting that rest, letting the water heat up, and we'll do the bagels. Yeah. Should put the fence back in. That's what we're trying to do. There you go. There's our ginger biscuits. Yeah. They're a little bit cooler now. Painting. Right. I wouldn't want to be doing that today out there. It's nearly 30 degrees out there. It always does that with the pressure.
That's what the apron's for.
Okay, while we're waiting, Ella's just come down to tell me that on the website, the books are now ready, available to essentially pre-order again for next week. So the first batch that we're expecting in on Tuesday, those are all gone, those first 100. So the next batch will come in the following week. So if anyone missed out on the first book launch, they're available to order and they'll be distributed again probably the Tuesday next week. So I think that works out to be the 20th. We have about a week delay on the orders as we place them. The second thing, and I haven't seen what Ella's put up on the website yet, but the second thing is that it has been asked a few times, and I've never ever had time for it because we were always in full production on a Sunday at the bakery. I'm going to host a Panda Productions workshop. To start with, it'll be just one a month, and it's his limited to 8 people only because of space that we've got available. So at essentially the Panda Pantry HQ, the bakery, I have the facilities to run a full-day workshop and essentially do this, show you how to make, and we'll do a bit of everything. We'll do pastry, we'll do pasta, we'll do breads, we'll do cakes, and whatever you do on the day, because you'll be making yours, everybody else will be making theirs. Whatever you do, you'll be taking home with you. You won't need to bring anything with you. Sensible shoes are always good. If you haven't been standing in the kitchen for 6 hours at a time, you will soon find out that it's not easy. So on the website now, and I say I haven't seen it yet, but Ella's told me it's there. It should be listed under workshop or Panda Productions workshop, limited to 8 people. Okay, I cannot stress that enough. If you want to come and you don't get a ticket, I can't squeeze more in because I just don't have the space. So if you want to come along, it's a day thing. There's free parking there on site. We'll have some lunch. There's plenty of tea and coffee. That those that know me know I won't go a day without drinking a couple of gallons of coffee. So everything's there for you. You just need to turn up with a comfortable pair of shoes and ready to learn. Yeah? And bring some Tupperware pots because you'll be taking a lot of stuff home with you. If anyone's interested, do it. It's September 15th. I think it's exactly a month today or close, around then. And if they're successful, if we want more, then we'll try and do more. And we'll try and do some themed ones as well as we go towards like Christmas time and whatever. So let me know what you think. And if you want to come, get yourself signed up. Right. Okay. Okay, that's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. All the details will be on the website. The bakery is in Wollaston, Northamptonshire. So yes, you do need to travel. I can't bring my kitchen to your area, wherever it is. So this is a little bit moist. So I'm going to show you what to do. Maybe. Oh well, where's Esther? Esther, I've missed your. I didn't know you were in. I've just seen somebody tag Esther. Sorry, Elaine. I always look out for Esther. Couldn't agree more. Where is she? Oh, there you are. Hello, Esther. Sorry. I need like a special fanfare when Esther joins us, just to let us know. Right, anyway, sorry, wrong camera. Here is what you need to do. It's a little bit moist, yeah? It's a little bit damp. A little bit of flour. Not much. Just take off that little bit of moisture. Yeah? Just makes it easier to handle. 2 bagels. Pretty much spot on. Yeah. Okay, so a little bit of flour on the board is going to help you do this as well. A little bit of flour on the board. You're going to roll it out. It doesn't matter if it starts to sort of like this one's just breaking up. Again, it's because I've not let it rest for a little while, okay? Just, it's sort of like saying gently press. It's gently press down and roll with it. And you can start to see I've had to do nothing to get that shape. It's just gently press in the center and it will gradually pull itself out, okay? That's big enough. If it has opened up into a little pocket here, just where the dough sort of loosened, just squeeze it back together. Just squeeze it back together so it's nice and firm. And then bring the ends round, press them together. Now, if you want to sort of then get it in your hand so you can then move it around. And just squeeze, like you're just forming it in your palms. Again, the dough's a little bit soft, but it's fine. We're going to pop that in. Now, if you want a thicker version, because that's the nice sort of, there's obviously different styles of bagels. You want a thicker version, exactly the same, just don't roll it out as far. There we go. Need to roll that again. So I mean about, if it doesn't work, don't worry. It's very forgiving.
Heidi's keen to go to the
Heidi's keen. Yeah. And just press the ends together. They don't need much in the way of. So it'll be on the Panda Pantry website. Let's have a look. Would help if I had the Panda Pantry website open. And I'm trying to work out where she's put it. Flour. Let me just make sure she's put it live because it's not there. Is the workshop live? I can't see it. I've just asked Ella to check. Right, there we go. I've just formed it, just sort of pressed it. So, into the steamer. Okay, I couldn't.
It's not like on the website homepage yet, so it's download.
Right, okay.
It is accessible.
Right, okay. Yeah, that's fine. I can do it here. Right, okay. They're going to steam for 5 minutes. Whilst that's steaming. Okay, so whilst they're steaming, and we've got 2 minutes for the Bakewell. I'll just get this link because Ella sent it to me. So this will be an image on the website shortly. However, that there, it's spinning. There you go. So, brilliant. So it's commented as us on both on YouTube and on the page. So what's I can't see the workshop. Okay, I freeze anything if it doesn't work. Now the workshop's just gone on now, so that link there will take you. It will be visible on the website. She's just doing a download now. So when you go in to book a place, you'll get a download sheet which will give you all of the details as to what we're going to make on the day. Where to go. I mean, that's the useful bit of information. So they'll all be available on there soon. And members, I'll put a post in about that as well later.
Well, they could read the address last minute and it'd be like a secret cinema type of thing.
Secret cinema. No, we won't be sending the thing out last minute. Right, okay. We are nearly finished. It's weird. I didn't think I'd get anywhere close to it today, but 4 o'clock, those are in. What I'll do with this is a couple more minutes of these steaming. You'll see the difference, fingers crossed, in the size when they've been steamed for 5 minutes. I'll going to brush them with egg white. Got a bit of egg white there. Then they're going to get baked, and then that's them done. In 1 second, our Bakewell's done. Wow. We have, yeah, it's firm. It's firm. 20 minutes. I mean, that's all it took. And you can tell it's done because it's firm all the way around. You know, that's predominantly egg and butter sitting on the top there. So let's put that in there. Now, my tin, my little square tin here, is a trusted tin. I didn't line it, I didn't grease it, I didn't need to do anything with it. Once that's cool, I'll be able to tip it up and it'll just come straight out. If you're not sure about your tin, line it. Just, it makes it so much easier. You don't want to destroy your Bakewell just because the tin's not playing ball. They've already grown sort of like almost double the size. This is why the steam part is actually quite essential, because all of the growth happens there. You won't get any growth once it goes into the oven. All of the growth is into the steam, and then it will bake and it will solidify in the oven. Let's get a tray. I suppose I should bring the lasagna up here as well for final shots. Tucked away underneath there. Wow. You see the difference in size? Almost double in size. They really do expand if you actually, you know, just steam them. And they're not completely robust, but they're also not very fragile. So I can pick it up. It's just hot, yeah. So if you get them on these sheets, so I meant to put one on one sheet, then it would be easy to pick up. I don't need to worry about it. It's got a sheet underneath it.
You tease.
Watch. It's because I've left it over the steamer. I really should just take it off the steamer, and then the steam wouldn't be trying to get me. There we go. I just had the brush. Okay. Back in the oven, 190, 15 minutes. So, they won't rise anymore. They'll just now go nice and golden. The egg wash is not essential. It just gives it a nice glossy glaze. Just aesthetics. Okay. Still plenty of you watching. So, any questions? Fire away. I can spend a couple of minutes answering or having a chat if you want. We're not obviously going to wait for those to finish. We'll post pictures of those later on. Let's do reminders.
It's wipeable.
Don't tell her I've got a dirty fingerprint on the book. So the first batch of books, so if you're one of the first 100, they'll be with us, fingers crossed, on Tuesday. That's the email we've had saying that they'll be dispatched and be with us by Tuesday. So we will start to distribute instantly. Okay, so if they arrive early enough on Tuesday, we'll start sending them on Tuesday. Otherwise, it's 100 books on Wednesday. So if you've got a book bundle or a book ordered, they'll get distributed early part of next week. If you haven't ordered one and you want one, then they are now available on the website. They will be distributed next week. 15 minutes, Barbara, just 15 minutes. So if you want one and you haven't ordered one, then they're on the site. And there's a couple of deals there if you want to order a book and a bag of flour as well. No, stay where you are. It's fine. Just putting the fence back. Don't need your help. Off you go. Coco. Because the gate got open. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the workshop. So workshop, all the details will be up on the website. It is only for 8 people. Get back where you are. It's only for 8 people. Once a month at the moment. If there's more call for it, then I'll do more. You can stay there as well. Honestly, they just want to go out and see what's happening outside. Members, I'll be putting in some information about the workshops in the members group later on. Be quiet. No. I better go because otherwise she's going to just go nuts. I need to go and give her my hand to put the fence back. Thank you for joining. Hopefully next week we might have something that's a bit more civilized, but you never know. Oi! Thank you. I can understand her trying to get out, but you, monkey. Right, I'll see you next week. Don't forget, we're going to do some suggestions for next week. There'll be a poll up, so please vote for what you want me to make. I've already got some ideas, but yeah, I'll put the rest up. See you later.